Welcome to episode 3 of what we're calling the Big Marathon, where we have iron problems. Pretty normal Factorio Space Age issue, really. We've got a bit of a mall that isn't really running because we don't have enough iron. We've got red and green science that isn't really running because we don't have enough iron. We've got a little military science thing that also isn't really running because we don't have enough iron. We're getting attacked, walls being damaged, that's fine. Did we? Oh, we should really limit these boxes. Yeah, and time to add more iron, but we've also got a lot of science, because one of the things that this big marathon run with is doing that we are, a 60 times tech multiplier. So we don't just need a little bit of iron, we need a lot of iron. And then the other thing going on with... put an R in thrusters. So, I didn't realize we had extra thrusters. That's a bit of a spoiler. Oh well, mods have added that. We've got mod planets. Here's another mod planet that I haven't thought about. Some of these mod planets are locking our access to the normal planets. That's not even a thing we need to deal with yet. We just need to go and get more iron. Yeah, we are progressing through things pretty well, I think. Other than the general lack of green science, and we've got two completely distinct science lab builds, because that's, we just need a lot of science for a 60 times multiplier. Give me some ammunition, give me a whole pile of this stuff. We have a separate on-patch mall section over here amongst the awful jank of this coalfield setup that we put when we first arrived here. Oh well, don't even worry about it, I guess. Can I have more green chips if you guys have got more green chips? And do you have iron? Why do you have iron? Okay, whatever. We're not going to worry about that. We've got things to craft now, because we might actually need... we might actually need all these inserters if we're trying to add more iron, aren't we? So let's smack that into the handcrafting queue. And are we going to need... we're going to need more bullets as well, aren't we? 0.75, 0.25. This is supposed to be a 1 to 3, except we have 10 of these guys and only 2 of... we're going to need more yellow bullets down there as well, which we don't have. Is there anything else I want to put? I think at this point we want the steel furnaces on the craft, and then I was thinking about putting all of these furnaces in a little assembly here to turn into power grid, except we also don't have the iron to be automating power grid yet, so I think we don't even worry about it. What we do have is, a lot of green science assemblers, 84, so that's like 1 1/4 green science assemblers if we're thinking about the 1 to 60 ratio we have, which is not super encouraging. I think what we do is we want, we have enough of the parts at the moment. We do have 2 belts of iron going into steel, which is quite a lot. I think we want to grab something like, until this says 48 furnaces, something like this, and slap it. There is space here, which is nice. We want to flip this around so the coal feed is going the other way. And do we want to even move it up here? I think we probably do. Can we get an additional, because we do also have this iron that I have also just spotted when we have all the fuel that we need here, so maybe we do actually want more iron somewhere else. Oh, there's other space to... whatever. We're just going to do these for the moment. We will smash in more iron later and not worry about it. Should we be putting this much iron into the steel? No, because we don't really need that much yet, but also whatever. Let's get the fuel kind of going with these ghosted power poles that might even need to go through the rest of this blueprint. Because then we can, if we had splitters, we can have splitters, that's fine. Add... which way round would this need to go? I think we would need to do something like this to successfully capture an extra flow out, which we can then immediately... we're going to get this iron down here. We're going to go back up to this other patch and add another 2 belts. But I think if we can just get... do we even want to push that in immediately? I think we probably do. I think we can go and add more miners to that top patch later, because we don't necessarily care about it at the moment. Yeah, we don't necessarily care about having this volume of steel, because we're not into the realm of doing that much blue science yet. So I think we just add extra mining drills to... Yeah, let's pull all of these through the middle and get extra mining drills on this iron, which is probably, I mean, maybe this only gives us one belt, but also I think we're happy with that. Yeah, like there. 3 of these drills here seems pretty nice. And I think we can just bash this in like so. Yeah, there's no way that's going to be more than 15 drills. It's fine. What rate of science are we even doing? We're doing 300 science per minute, and that is, in a lot of Space Age contexts, pretty good for red-green. That might even be considered an overplay, except we've got so much science to do, and we are so generally behind on... Can we fit through here? We cannot. Oh well, never mind. Yeah, we've just got so much to do that we're going to need more than that. This we can have a splitter here. How many mining drills did we get? 26. So if we got some mining productivity, that would be pretty close to a full belt of iron until these things start to run down. And yeah, we have boosted patch richness, we have boosted patch frequency as well, as you can tell. We aren't doing like the Big Daddy 1,000 times science multiplier, mostly because like other people already have. You can just go and watch those runs, they're kind of cool. What we are doing is we've also mucked around a bit with the pollution and absorption and evolution settings in a way that means that yes, this is a big marathon, but also we aren't going to have our objectives fully simplified. Do we just turn some of this into gears immediately? I think what we want to do is have another mall down here that puts more things on this belt. But I think we also want to run the blue science through this area because the steel is just here. Indecision. Yeah, we aren't going to be fully outscaled by the biters. We are going to eventually have to worry about them. Having said that, let's just check how many bullets we've got in these turrets. A couple? We've also only got bullet damage 1 thus far. Where can we... Where would... If we were to be doing a... If we did engines into blue science, there's actually a ton of space, isn't there? Because we would have the steel would probably run down one direction and then run back up here. So this line is actually pretty good. We could have another belt of either sulfur and red chips running in from either direction, and then we could also have the output belt, say, here for the blue science and the engines. And this is all convincing me that, because we're thinking about the layouts of how we can get these things in. I was wondering if we could put gears and pipes off this, and I think we just do. I think we just go, hey, we've got a kind of a marathon settings. There's going to be a bunch of things we're going to need. We are going to go straight into gears as well. Sure, gears, belt. Do we want more bullets? I don't think we want more bullets, but I think we want more pipes. But I think we also maybe want to do this in... Okay, yeah, we're going to change our mind on this again. We're going to go like 4 of these dudes on gears and then another 4 of these dudes on pipes and kind of set this up for engines later, even though we're kind of researching engines now. And that means that here we can have a dude that's making belt, because belt is a thing that we are going to like to continue to have. You can grab iron from there, you guys can grab iron from this belt. So yeah, one of the nice things about this kind of marathon setup is that we can plan a decently far way ahead. Yeah, you can just grab whatever gears you need. You're not going to need that many gears. Should we also have... Yeah, gun turret's now out of ammunition. Oh well, it's probably fine. We've got more. Pretty important thing, we need to drop these gears onto the inside. So now we do have a place that we can think about building more mall stuff. So we can have Um, yeah, maybe we can have this guy making undergrounds, and then also this guy making... If we've got the pipes here, I think we do both. Let's do the entire electrical grid automation that we were thinking about. So this can run down this side. We can have boxes. Making boxes by hand feels pretty bad, especially with the number of boxes we put in other places. Never mind. Yeah, you can have belt. You can output to that box. You can put things here. At this point, we can not feel quite so bad about some of that other jank, but never mind. And then you are... We need to move these around a bit, because some of these other guys are going to need to access pipes, whereas this burner inserter one will not. Yeah, you just grab things from all of these places. You don't need iron, but you will all need the stuff. Okay, and then one of these belts of iron we just don't take any further. How was I getting... I guess we're putting long-handed inserters in places like this, and we have to make another one of these belts. Okay, so we're extending them all, which is cool. You can just have all... I don't want to be making those. I wanted to be making the rest of... Yeah, I think we just give you all of the stone furnaces, and then we just limit these guys to some helpful amount of stuff. So now we've got power grid automation. We've got yeah, we're running both of these in the same place so that we can do this kind of top-up thing with these belts. And now we've got this belt that can turn into the engines build. But if we are saving space for this, then we also need to worry about how to get... Yeah, we'll be making... I don't think we're putting this other mall that we talked about down here, because we're going to try and put blue sides through the middle. But I think we are... If these are the two inputs, I think we would actually rather move this engines and blue sides thing down a little so that we can get both of these belts of iron out and into the rest of the base that also needs iron. Did we limit the belt box? Maybe we should. Maybe we should also limit the undergrounds box. That's probably a good idea. Should we also only take belt to turn it into undergrounds if we have a surplus of belt? Say if we want 200 belt before we start making underground, so that's probably fine. And now, yeah, we're getting value from that, and yeah, we need to go and visit that defensive position. We are nearly done with engines, which suggests that maybe we should hack together a quick engines build, maybe in the space that we want these things to be, because... Is that true? That's not true at all, is it? We've got a ton of time because we are nowhere near actually researching the car, because we've got to do 60 times as much other stuff before that's actually going to, yeah, kick off and be relevant again. Why do we have... I was not expecting so much iron to be here. Maybe we have balanced these badly, but I think the plan that we're going to do is the blue sides is going to extend this far down, probably. We might even do 2 entirely separate blue science builds, and then just run some of... Yeah, balance this iron into the grenades, use the iron that's from the other outpost for the grenades, worry about having... Yeah, here's another... I think we're just going to end up with multiple boxes of belt all over the place because we're going to need so much of it. And then here is this a place where we... Okay, we're going to need more splitters. Do we expect this to be running the whole time? Because if we do, I think we won't expect to get more than 1 belt of iron out of this system, especially with the mall at the other end, which I like because it means we can simplify this area. We are going to need, yeah, as we discussed, more... if this... Yeah, so this belt is going to be roughly full, which means that we can have the extra bullets we talked about needing here. How can we get these bullets in a chest that... Maybe, yeah, okay, so maybe we just pull this one down. And then we would need to, first of all, get the rest of this iron in here in a way that connects to... so this belt of iron that's turning up from this other lane of smelting that we just kind of hacked in, that could even attach down here now. And there's space to go with one jump here into a kind of disastrous pattern like that. So I think we... Do we make sure we hit that? Because I would also like to take this belt of supporting iron... Okay, I don't think we can put it there. I think we've got to continue to spaghetti these places. So this is going to be fun on all the other worlds as well, where we also don't know... This is going to be in the way of the military science buffer, isn't it? How are we going to... I think we can... Okay, so yeah, so these two are just going to output directly into a build. Yes, and then we can have this guy go in a box so that we can... Actually... Yeah, I was wondering whether or not we wanted to be buffering things here at all, because we already have more ammunition than we need. Yeah, we already have more red ammunition construction than we are supporting, even with these three. But I think what we're going to do with that is have a box there to be able to buffer military science. Yeah, as a... Yeah, basically as an iron store, and then get this out of my hands. Am I going to need more gun turrets? Yes. Should we be doing that immediately? Also, maybe yes. So we move these guys again. This one goes onto the right. We have a splitter here that also forces this into the other gears location that we're running, and then these two belts can do that thing, and we are topping up this belt, which adds more iron to the middle. So, I think we've just added the more iron that we wanted to. Here are these, yeah, this disaster of the huge number of boxes that we added, and probably now we are, yeah, short of ammunition because our build is not well ratioed. Is that true? No, we were just short on... Oh, we're not short on ammunition because all of this has backed up. The issue is not that we have badly ratioed the yellow bullets to the red ammunition. It's that, yeah, we don't need nearly as much of this here because we have actually badly ratioed the bullets to military science so that we can have a surplus of red bullets that is kind of not worth using yet, so we're not going to. Yeah, give me a bunch of these guys as well. Let's just increase... do we want those unlimited? I think we do. Let's just increase the amount of stuff we are making in every way. And we've got more steel down here. Apparently, do I have coal to give you? Because why not? And then I think we... Yeah, I think we still need to add more iron mining in the bottom half of this. We've got a bunch more things that we... Yeah, give me some of these bullets, and we're going to go and add... I guess we're going to go and look at the iron situation down here. Yeah, we do just need to add more iron mining here, and I think we maybe even want to add a full third lane of stuff. Probably. I think we are going to want to be just growing. Give me some of these grenades. Let's go, yeah, those biters that are attacking dust down there, let's go ruin their lives, because that's the sort of thing we do. Has research speed picked up? Not yet. We're still on 300 SPM, which is, yeah, not going to be pushing through the things we really need to, is there? More oil, more copper, that's all going to be great. Yeah, we're also not seeing a whole lot of water features at the moment, so we do want to be... I think we do want to be locking down the map to a quite large degree before we think about leaving it, he said. I mean, we're already planning blue science that we... What was that lag spike? You guys have got one worm. That's a terrible decision for you guys, because that worm dies and then stuff like this happens to your nests. Unlucky. Yeah, we already are in the situation of thinking about where blue science will go when we get it. Yeah, and because the tech levels are, like, we've got a large multiplier, but we've also got more ore on the map, which means we're going to expand more, but we're not going to have to really worry about the weird pipe and wall spawn blocking and expansion blocking and all of that kind of nonsense. We're probably still going landmine flamethrowers because they're really good, but we're not necessarily going to be doing all that kind of landmine flamethrower cheese that you're kind of forced into with 1,000 times run. But yeah, the fact that we have this extra time does mean that we can think about planning things a bit more. Do I want this copper at the same time? Maybe I do. How much belt do I have? I have 170 belt. We did not plan that very well, he realized after just having talked about, is this these guys are also going to have to go away. I think we get this iron, we get this copper, we do more smelting here. We think about having an extra... Oh, no, wait. This area, we want to leave for petrochem. Are we polluting these guys yet? No. Are we polluting these guys yet? Very nearly. Have we even scanned out the rest of the cloud? Not really. Yeah, so we're going to have to deal with these guys pretty soon. Never mind, not super concerned about it. Should we be getting labs? Should we be... Wait, where are we? If we are getting this copper and this iron immediately to punch into the mall, because I think we do just straight up need a second mall. And more iron, and more iron. Actually, this initial iron is more important, isn't it? Because this initial iron is... We need that for even the existing mall to run. Why are we just not getting... What percentage of these guys are... Oh, we didn't put radar over there. That was silly. Oh, well, never mind. Cool. Yeah, I think we are going to want... I think we're going to want more belt. So we're going to go and deal with that. Also, are we keeping the smelting this size, or are we steel furnacing all of this? Because it's probably going to be a while before we have... also... Oh no, this is fine, isn't it? Because we're going to have more iron arriving from somewhere. Yeah, but we wanted more mining drills. Actually, we're fine for mining drills. We are going to want more inserters, which are also not turning up in any of the chests that we would like them to, because we still just got to get, yeah, more stuff from everywhere. If we have... Just siphon the stuff off the belt. Yeah, these gears and this belt, and now we can also continue to just make a bunch more inserters, which... Is this going to be everything we need? No, we're also going to need some splitters, and now I think we have... Yeah, this nice disastrous sushi, which we are attempting to unpick, but I think we're building up too much coal in both of these boxes, which is also what this disaster buffer is over here for, to try and make sure this never clogs up. Cool long-term plans that we're going to enjoy maintaining a whole lot, but I guess we can do that differently later. Yeah, so I think we go and... Because the other thing I was thinking about is, do we mine... And I think we do. Do we do it now? How much is our power grid usage? We are getting close to... That's kind of a surprise. Okay, more of these guys in... oh, we got this one in the wrong place. Cool. I don't even think I want to bother with that. I think we want to leave some of that there for bots to deal with later. And what I was thinking of is grabbing this power plant here and putting it in, say, here, and then having this coal run into this power plant, killing these guys, putting some offshore pumps down there. That all sounds good. Let's go and do that, for which we will need pipes. Are we going to need a pump? I'm still not very good at judging the distances of how far these things are. So we're going to grab some pipes. We did not need that many underground pipes, did we? Wrong way around. We wanted to do that. But we do want to go and pick up some power grid from the locations where we have recently introduced power grid, and yeah, this is still an iron problem. We're still not making quite the number of gears we want to do to keep the rest of that safe, even though this is not fully utilized, but never mind. Give me 4 stacks of these. Yeah, give me a bunch of these as well. 50, sure, whatever. You've got belt, keep running the belt. Do we want bullets here as well? Maybe? Because we are still in a position where... I don't have anything to drop in the labs, it's fine. We are still in a position where a lot of the... like, biters have not yet evolved to the point where red bullets are worth it, even with the reduced bullet cost. Which is one of the reasons why we're bothering to make it in those kinds of volumes. Okay, this is the area where we are going to want some kind of power grid. We can, I think, afford quite a lot of it. And is that true? How big is... we can probably only get... because if we've got this petrochem and we're using this coal for plastic, we will have maybe a belt, but maybe not 2 belts of oil going into power grid, but maybe we also do some... what's at the end of this? Oh, there's a splitter there. That'll look like it connected up, and then we have 30, which I think is a number that I'm going to be fine with, which is... this is like 2 belts of coal going into a power plant, but I think also we're going to be okay with that because we can get some pump jacks later, as is the inevitable plan with Factorio and building petrochem stuff. I think we can do a solid fuel power grid extension there as well. So I think that means we don't want all of the... yeah, I think I'm convincing myself into not wanting to build all of the steam engines yet, because we're not going to be able to have the fuel to support it, which also I think is going to be... why are we not powered here? Oh yeah, because we're going through the power plant, and we have... this is also the way that we are connecting the power plant to the rest of the base, which we have not actually done yet, never mind. Yeah, I think we're going to be happy building only the easy inside set of power grid stuff there when we get around to it. And not actually building the... yeah, all these trees, oh well. Not building the rest of the power plant that's like the back half. The outside of it that has pipes and stuff in the way as well. I think we're going to leave that for bots to do later. Maybe we can get a whole belt of 25. We are going to be able to get a whole belt out of this patch for a while, which is nice. Yeah, connect all these things up. They are all connected up. We are just not connected to the base, which is fine. Did I pick up a bunch of stone? I did not pick up a bunch of stone. I've picked up a bunch of wood. Never mind. Here are the splitters that we made earlier. I'm just going to go left here, which means that any gaps on this half of the belt we can just fill like so. That's going to be fine. And then somewhere over here, I guess we're doing the smelting of these materials, so we should connect this to the rest of the base like so. Here's that power plant we brought over earlier. I wonder if we still have in the paste buffer 2 lanes of processing, and where can we put this in a way that it's just going to be in the way wherever we put it, isn't it? Okay, fine. Two lanes of processing here, of which one of these is going to be the copper. I think we can get 2 lanes out of this iron, but then the question is, what else are we... that's all we're doing with this. If we want more stuff, we can go to this iron and copper, and there's another backup oil here as well. So I'm talking myself into having... where does this fit? Here? Oh, because these splitters are in different places. And the coal feed is also around the other way, so let's flip that, drop it in here, grab another one of these guys, so we can have 2 lanes of iron, and also a lane of copper, and then just plug that into more mall stuff. I think we're going to want more green chips here as well. Does this mean we just turn this other little smelting section into like a little outpost that straight up just does gears and green ships. I think it might. I think we're pretty happy with that as a plan. Do I have 150? I do actually have... Oh wait, no, it's not even 150. It's less than that. It's like 75 or so because we're using the steel furnaces. One stack of stone furnaces is a whole smelting column, but the steel furnaces is half a stack of steel furnaces per smelting column. Do we have... are we going to run out of power poles? That is also a thing I'm kind of fine with because we've got enough power poles in the mall already, and we do have some more wood to take them as well, so that's great. Yeah, let's connect all this stuff up, work on getting this belt of coal through. Should we take this belt of coal back over to the other power plant as well? Maybe. I am unsure, and we are not going to worry about it yet, but let's connect that so that when we take the belt of coal in this direction, that is our power plant. Yeah, we've got essentially 3 belts of coal that we can now drop on this thing. Oh wait, it's not going to work because we need the power through the middle of the power plant, which is fine. We do have enough. If we're standing on in the power plant, should we just do this now? I did kind of want to get the coal working its way down belts before we started to worry about other things like actually building the power grid. Oh well. So we can have 3 belts of stuff here. Are we going to get... Yeah, we're not going to get 3 belts of... We are not going to get 3 belts of coal out of this patch. Oh wait, we never planned to. We planned to get 2 belts of coal out of this patch and have a splitter here, and one of these belts... I think it's going to be this far belt. Yeah, that's pretty good. We can get 2 belts of coal out of this patch. We can eventually support this power grid with some other source. And then that means we just need to go and get this. We need to go and grab... We're going to try and do this differently because I think we might also be using water out the back of this power plant to also push into petrochem for advanced processing or something like that. Yeah, we're just going to wander over here and connect all this coal up. It's fine. Totally normal marathon things. Science is still sciencing. At some point, the science was doing better, and now it's not, and we're not going to even bother asking about why. Actually, this is going to be enough for... This is going to be enough for 3 belts of coal, he said, realizing that that was actually totally the plan because we also want to do plastic from here. So, I think we also accidentally managed to line up these belts with this really good in a totally accidental and surprising way that we're just going to lean into. It's going to be fine, don't worry about it. So splitters are going to go... We do have another lane here, so that's good. So I think we can just do a 4 splitter into 3 belts thing. We are going to prioritize into the power grid, in which case these guys are going to need to turn like so. So now we've got power grid and smelting getting coal. We've got another line to bring in that coal when we get around to it. We've got a coal feed for the plastic. We are thinking ahead because it's a marathon. You've got to plan your marathons. It's going to get a little bit more awkward when we get to mod planets that we have no idea what we're doing, but that's also going to be fun. Is this where we run out of power poles? Interesting. Was not necessarily what I planned. But it's not necessarily a thing I am opposed to either. Like, we can still get more coal in here. And then there's going to be a little bit of coal hanging around the outside. How many have we added? 55. That's already 2 belts of coal. That's... so maybe our 3 belts of coal guess is also pretty good. And then, yeah, more of these guys. We're just going to fill this out even though we don't have the power poles for it yet because whatever. And then, yeah, sure. we're only putting 13 on one side, so that is also completely fine. Okay, let's go back to the mall and get the power poles we need. We also only have one offshore pump. I do like to be running around with more offshore pumps because I think that was a habit that carried over from lazy bastard runs, where if you get your offshore pump killed, then you are really sad about... We're not even fully running all of this yet, because iron, because gears. Yeah, where if you run out of your offshore pump, then you are really sad about making sure that you can craft another offshore pump and an assembler somewhere before your base dies and you lose the power that you need to... Over here are the power poles that we... Yeah, grab all these power poles. We still have a lot of stuff we're going to need. Are we going to need more undergrounds? I think we're going to solve that by grabbing this belt, by making more undergrounds, by wondering if these guys are filled up, and they are, so we're just going to craft a couple more of these things and it's going to be fine. We've got probably enough to turn... Yeah, we do want to push more iron in here as well, I think, don't we? I think that was the plan for the other patch of iron off to the other side. All of these guys have nearly buffered all of their fuel, which is fine. Let's go and get the other power poles on this iron, and then the other 59 miners on this iron patch, and then nuke these guys while we get water, and then put the power poles in places that will actually connect things. Yep. Remembering what the plan was. Power those, go and get this iron, go and get the water that will support the power plant, and then build the things that we can... that we have already ghosted, and then build a little outpost that just builds gears and green chips, and then plug them into the mall that we already have. I think that is a good plan for the next couple of moments of stuff. Let's just start all this mining over here. I don't think we are close to polluting those biters by the lakefront yet. I actually have no idea. We will soon / eventually, because we're going to be putting power plant there, but we have also put the power plant in the middle of the trees. That was a deliberate play, because power plants in the middle of trees is gonna do some, but not... I mean, with a 60 times tick multiplier, we are going to be polluting everything so much all the time that it kinda... We are just going to be unhappy about the amount of pollution on the map. But we're just going to have to roll with it, and, you know, the trees will at least start doing something. How many? We've got another 12 mining drills. So the factory is growing, which is nice. 3 more mining drills. This is going to bring us up to close to the total of the 2 lanes of iron we wanted out. But also... we are seeing that, actually I think that would be good over here is going to be, let's double up the radars in the places that we want to scan more. I think we will eventually get 3 belts of iron out of this patch, so I think we can do basically here the same splitter tech again. We can go, but we do kind of want to prioritize the middle belt, so we're going to do a cheeky thing here and say this guy can run underground. We definitely could have done that better. Let's turn some of these so that we don't have to pick up as many belts. We're still kind of picking up the same number of belts, aren't we? Let's also see if we can do... if we can use fewer undergrounds for this. Yeah, just here, whatever. Okay, so now if we prioritize this upwards, then we are prioritizing the iron from 2 of... oh, there's also... yeah, whatever. Yeah, we're prioritizing iron from the patches that we expect to have more richness in them. Yeah, the miners that should not run out as quickly. Do we want... what are we doing with this? I don't know what we're doing with this third belt of iron. We can do something with it later. We have plans for the first 2 belts. So these guys are just going to get over here. Let's leave... Do we need to leave space? I think we're already making irrelevant aesthetic decisions at a point where we don't really need to. Okay, all of these guys are going to miss all of that stuff. We're going to jump it underneath the solid fuel from light oil fuel line, which we are so far away from actually thinking about. And then this guy can go underground here because maybe we're going to have more smelting in these positions. Who knows? Bring this iron over here. Are we just working on belt delay at this point? I think we are, because I don't actually think I'm going to bother setting all of this. Is that true? Power grid is fine. Pollution is kind of fine. I think that's forest absorption. I don't even think we're polluting these guys yet, which means I think we press the wrong buttons for a bit. I think we work on actually boosting them all with these materials, and then with them all boosted with our increased production behind us, then we go and build the other power plant and push the biters. Those were all not where the blueprint was. So, pretty happy with that as a setup. Do I want more power poles here as well? I don't think I do. But, you know, unclear. Let's get all these guys done first. If we did speedruns of other categories, we would have mechanics for building all of this stuff better than we do. But whatever. Does this mean we are using... Like, what else are we doing with this full belt of copper, if this is a full belt of copper? Because that's more than half a lane of green chips. So are we just taking it back to the... Are we taking the rest of the copper back to the base as copper? Are we underutilizing this line of copper smelting? Should we be building less copper smelting? All of these things are questions we are not going to worry about right now. We're going to go... we're going to go 7... We're going to go 6 of these guys on coils here and green chips here. This is going to make us nearly half a belt of green chips, and I think we pull... I think we are planning on pushing 2 belts of stuff back from this, what we are thinking of as an outpost, to the base. Yeah, so that's going to get this stuff on the inside. So 6 assemblers is not quite going to be a full line of green chips, but we are also apparently already thinking ahead. I also don't have enough fast inserters for this, to the point where we might speed module and speed, and yeah, prod mod these and module these assemblers differently into a world where we can have... actually, can we have this one here? We can. Yeah, into a world where we can module these guys differently to get a full belt of green chips here to more fully utilize this copper. Okay, so that's going to be one of the output lanes of stuff we take back to the base. And then I think we have another line of gears and green chips, of which we can have... if the output line for the gears is here... Did I say gears and green chips? We definitely meant gears and iron. Yeah, something like this. Left, left, and then do a bunch of... We've only got 7 of these left. On the upside, we've got everything we need here. Do we also... Because this is a mall, and we are going to be building everything large enough that I think we might want. Why were we doing that? We didn't want that. We wanted fastened sodas. I think we might actually want to outpost. I'm talking myself into wanting to outpost here. Okay, let's not. We're going to get weird powerful connections in ways that are going to make the map look gross unless we do this in a different way. Okay, yeah, I think we grab. We're not expecting that much iron to be floating out here. We're expecting to use all of this iron to turn it into these gears to have some iron left over, but otherwise just have, here's my belts of stuff, which we are going to run back to the base, but I am also talking myself into going, where? Here? Gears and belt, because I'm anticipating expanding in almost every direction, and we're gonna, because of that, move this. Maybe we should also do a red belt thing. We can do a red belt thing here when we get the other lane of iron, and there's still another lane of iron from that patch that we were just at, which we have thought about but not really thought about. Yeah, we're just gonna have a situation where everyone, all of these outposts that we build can also have their own little bits of mall that can be building helpful things that bots can, not you, that bots can grab later. In particular, over here is a spot where we can go double inserter into, are we even doing the green? Are we doing effectively the green science mall here? Let's do, because we've got these materials, I think we go, you guys grab everything that you might want, and then also do, yeah, we're going to need fast inserters here, doing these outputs, but I think we also just do a little mall here of long hands and fast inserters as well, so we can straight up have a secondary mall of helpful things that are going to be a good time for everyone to have, and I mean, this is looking a lot like a green science build, except we're just not going to put the green science here. We're just going to run all of these materials back to the mall. I think also, I don't know how much iron we've got here, but we would like to prioritize it in there, and then take this other belt of iron, if there is any leftover iron, and smash it in over here. And then, okay, I guess we are going to, some of these trees are going to need to get out of our way, but not too many of these trees. We're going to leave most of these trees, but we are going to dodge the rest of this forest if we can. Okay. Pretty good times. We've got an extra mall. We have boosted many of our processes. We've got, yeah, an extra mall that we can give to bots. The base is definitely going to be that big, so I don't even mind this mall being further away. Let's check that we have limited all these boxes, because that was definitely a problem we faced the last time when we accidentally built more boxes than we needed. Do we want bullets here as well? I don't think we want bullets here. I think by the time we are growing to the size of this thing, we will be in a situation where, yeah, we will be in a situation where we will be wanting to use red bullets from the military science build first. Okay, so how do we integrate these belts of stuff into the mall that we already have, and or do we just, I think we more or less want to tap it in here, don't we? I think we want the belt of gears. Yeah, we want to get iron in here, but we kind of need another belt of iron to do that. Do we want to hit the gear? Yeah, let's run all of these underground so that we can filter off the copper. And then it turns out that we have put gears and chips on the opposite side of the belt, which I like a whole lot, which means if we do iron plate on the left, then we can get, here's a belt of iron, in a place where we can merge it with these other belts. Here's a belt of gears and chips, which I like a whole lot. And then this copper we can just plug directly in here. Do we want to, because this is only half a belt, we can also put a splitter there, so now we have a, air quotes, lane balanced copper, and we're running low on this mini steel, which is also not a thing we need because we've got other sources of steel. It's fine. I think we maybe want some more power poles. Are we outposting anything else? So this... Are we just not running... Oh yeah, we're not actually running all the red sides at the rate we need to because we are still in the situation of trying to solve the iron problem, which we have allegedly kind of solved with this thing. Okay. I think... Okay, so these green chips are on the other side of the belt, but I don't even think we worry about this. I think we take this outposted stuff. Really? There? Okay. I guess we could go and murder these guys first. That is always a thing that we can do. Yeah, seeing the boxes destroyed is a sad thing because those were our buffers of... Yeah, they just destroyed a box of underground belts, which is a little bit of a shame. Always a nice victory for the biters when they can destroy not just some belts and random garbage like that, but a box of valuable amounts of stuff. Oh, actually, box of valuable amounts of stuff. Yeah, let's we're going to change our mind about this as well, because you know another thing that moles really like, that bots really like to have a large amount of when we're expanding, is mining drills. So you guys, after we've topped up the iron, let's create another high value box of stuff. Let's also just leave... I mean, I've got a feeling that we might even get attacked in... Because I want to go and integrate the rest of these resources before we go and deal with connecting the water, because the power grid is still fine. We don't need to build that yet. We actually could have a lot more of these things in our inventory, couldn't we? I would like to get the rest of this integrated, and I think we're just going to go... If we do this kind of thing... actually, if we go like this, then we have done a similar lane balancing trick here, which means we have another belt of iron, which we are not going to worry about yet because it's going to fill up these other two belts. Mostly we need to get this belt of helpful intermediates and stuff, and it turns out to have exactly the same lane balance as the belts of things we already have, which is amazing. This is kind of an area of the mall that looks like it would enjoy having a line of steel. Maybe we try and dodge that. Maybe we just try and get here. Is this going to work? If we go underground here, and we have a splitter here, I think we need to move this power pole, and then we can just run all of this underground, and there we go, we're done. All of these guys are getting merged. We could even put we could put a filter on here to make sure that we didn't have anything else sitting over here, but also whatever. And then we have more intermediates coming in. We've hooked up our outpost. We've hooked up our source of iron. I think what we actually want to do is go input priority left, because we don't have any buffers for these gears or chips, and we don't have the belts we set up didn't get the rest of the materials back to the base, whereas if these guys back up and we don't use this iron, it goes into the base and does the other things we want the iron to do. And we've also got a buffer here for these green chips that I think I want to change to like a one-to-one layout like this, so when we get around to moduling those things they can go differently. Oh well. And then there's still these starter patches that we haven't even fully mined yet. Never mind. Is it time to go and get more power grid? And wait, where are the... Wait, I wanted coal. Why did we wander all the way past that area and not get this coal? Yeah, give me all of this coal. You guys keep working on all of your steel, even though it kind of doesn't matter. Should we... You know what? We've already got a prioritization away from these dudes. If they want to just do that steel smelting faster, I think that's going to be helpful. I've got... Yeah, so we said we wanted more iron, and then all of this iron is just backed up. Is that because some of these guys are backed up, and then some of these processes are backed up? Maybe? Does that mean that we are getting... I think it means we're getting inserters to parts of the green science build that did not previously get inserters, which means we are likely to be... Yeah, I think that is the solution of our iron problem. Oh wait, I wanted to go to the first mall we built this episode, the second of 3 malls that now exist, to go and pick up more of this power grid stuff, so that we can, yeah, because I think we're going to want about 60 each of all of these parts. Okay, so that's enough mall to go and build the thing. Do we also want some engines? Do we want... I think this line here, to the extent that, yeah, we're going to prioritize this output to the right, and then the steel is going to run the whole way down, and we're going to start with engines here. And we're prioritizing this to the right because this space is kind of where we can top up the gears and pipes when we get more iron when we're doing blue science things, but it also means that we can line up these engines in a way that means we've got to know where that steel is before we try and do these engines. So this is... Do I have... I picked up a whole pile of steel. Okay, great. So engines in a way that is going to extend to blue sites, real nice. Have yourself a pile of steel. We don't need outputs yet because we're only really worrying about... yeah, we're only really worrying about getting enough engines for cars when we get around to that, which is still a long way away. Are we seeing... We are seeing the science tick up, so I'm going to claim that those problems are solved, and then maybe I wanted a pump. Maybe we can get away with putting a pump down after this power grid, which is probably still fine, even though, yeah, with science ticking up, maybe we needed to get more of this done. But yeah, we're gonna do the cheap, easy, simple thing of we're only gonna build this kind of inner layer of power grid. We don't have the fuel to fully run this thing yet. We also don't have... actually, we should go and push the nest first, couldn't we? Because it could attack us while we're doing all of this stuff. We don't have the fuel to run this entire thing, and these finicky outside bits are more difficult to build while just running through it. So we're going to leave that to bots. We're not even going to build the outside layers. We're going to do the middle, which is easy to sort of drag while running. Which of these power poles aren't built yet? Here are the power poles that are not built yet. We're going to connect these guys somehow, but we also want space here to be able to connect the water, which we are going to get from... Yeah, the water that we're going to be able to get from the lake that we're about to visit. I guess we are building some of this power plant after all. I think because we're here, this might just be rationalizing, but because we are here, we are going to build this bit of the power plant that we want to bother building now, so that after we have pushed the nest that we're about to push, we can just go wherever... Oh, hey, here's some dudes. Here's a grenade that I have. Sucks to be you guys. Sucks to be those trees as well. Cool. We dealt with the biters that were attacking us. That was... I guess that was the attack wave that I was somewhat concerned about slipping past us while we built this power grid. Never mind. But yeah, all we need to do now is plug the water into this. I wonder where there's some water we can get. Oh, hey, it's like right next to the nest we want to kill. Are we going to... Hopefully we can do all of this without needing... Is this all still connected? Yes. And then I think based on... I think we're going to be able to get this pump yeah, this pipe all the way to the water just down here without worrying about, yeah, you guys are one nest. You guys are silly. Get out of here. Yeah, not a very big lake, but that's fine. And then, yeah, let's also do the... Let's have many pumps here because 2.0 fluid mechanics, and I like to just be able to not worry about... Like, I like to be able to pull... I like to be able to pull water out of any other, like the back of any power plant that we might care about, without worrying about whether or not we've got enough pumps for it. So we're just going to do that. Let's drag back some power as well. So yeah, after that whole thing about, hey, now if we do this water first, we don't necessarily have to path back to the same place. We changed our mind about what we were bringing down here, and we'll actually be pathing back to the same place. Cool. But then what do we do? So we've built the grid. We should also check that the grid is contributing. It is. We've now got a little bit of headroom, and we've got... this desert is going to be a bit of a problem later, isn't it? Because there are a lot of nests there we're going to be polluting. This area, kind of fine. A lot of forests, a lot of patches to tap. There's a good variety of stuff over here. Like, this to me says maybe this is an area that we allocate to purple science because we've got all the things we need and also stone. More iron, and actually this also says purple science because we've got all the bricks we need. We've got a whole lot of iron we could use for steel. Mostly I just wanted to check how we were doing with the scanning, and oh hey, we would like to see what's going on with all of that water. We could end up with a very defensible position. In fact, I'm tempted to just blast these guys immediately. I think we wait for the what am I thinking about? Car to do that, because it's kind of a long way away and I would rather go and get other things working instead. Are we not even fully utilizing... Maybe we are still unloading from buffers. Maybe that's why these guys are full, because all of this is running... Oh, and also because these... Oh, because we never gave this guy an output inserter. Never mind. It was like our third mall that's building underground belts, no big deal, and these guys are also full, which is cool. I do want some of these guys. Did we ever... We never capped that box, but I think it's fine because we do want 2 stacks? 3 stacks? Sure. Let's get rid of the rest of this stuff out of our inventory. Okay, good times, things are going well. Do we want it? I don't think we need a second thing that's also making power poles, do we? I think we want to get more iron over here to be filling up the rest of that smelting, although at this point we are fine. All of that is going pretty well. And we might be in the situation of even wondering what we want to build next. Is the military science? The military science is also banging it out, but might also be stone bricks for wall limited, which is not necessarily a thing I was expecting. 10? Okay, we can just slap another 2 in here. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. We can get this up to a full... half lane of stone bricks. Okay, we're going to run out of mining drills. I should have taken some mining drills from the other mall, wouldn't we? It's kind of weird to be doing all of this and going, oh, bots will enjoy this later, and still being many hours away from being able to do anything with bots. But how many is 30? With mining productivity, I think we do a thing where we go... like so, because actually this is not going to help, is it? We may as well just run it directly in here, because I was trying to figure out if we could have more than 1 line of stone cooking here to also help push things into wall more, except we're still... I guess the outputs could go on the other side. But it's also, we don't have mining productivity yet. I think we're not going to worry about it. That's fine. It's doing something that it needs to. That is good. What is even the next thing we should work on? Should we go and get more of this iron? Should we go and get more of this iron? Should we worry about... All of this is just working as... Oh, we didn't put radars down there. Yeah, We could mine this coal. We could figure out how to get this mining going. I think we... Do we want more iron here to turn this into a full-sized thing? We might. How far away are we from, yeah, cars and then fluids and then oil processing? All of that is going to be a bit of a mess. Are we seeing this bump up to 570? Yeah, we have added the stuff. We have solved our iron problem. You guys are still putting stuff on belts. We've got another place where... oh, we've done this badly again in a way that's silly. Yeah, we're going to reverse the way those worked out. If we've got anyone... If any of these... yeah, if any of these guys have the free space to buffer, it's going to be... Like, the front ones are going to be the ones putting directly on a belt, because they're going to have all the stuff, and then the rear ones are going to have the boxes that will fill up if the entire build fills up. And this will be a better way of... I mean, how many of these did we have? 80? Does that... I think that means we need 8 things making inserters, which happens to be exactly the 8 things we have making inserters, but we're also taking stuff off the mall, so I think we actually need more things making inserters, and maybe even more things making belt, because we've got... Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got nearly enough belt, but we don't have any... Yeah, I think we're going to go belt inserters again. And these are ones that we will allow... Actually, we're going to need to do this the other way around, because... Yeah, these guys here can just get into the machine. But... Whatever, you guys can have all the inserters you want. The belt is going to be slightly annoying because of inserter bottlenecks, but also whatever, we can just do that. Okay, so now we've got these. So these ones should be able to accumulate materials even if the entire thing is running, but also means... Are we worried? Okay, so we've got 18 here, because I think if we're trying to do 8 machines making assemblers, that's more than half a belt's worth of inserters, but also we're taking a quarter of them off here, so I think we are fine with... belt throughput, but I think what we are going to try to do, and I think this is going to need to go like this or so, is yeah, left, but also an overflow, which will allow us to... Where's a place that's, I guess down here. These guys are getting some stuff, these guys are where we need to get more stuff, so we can again run this section underground, and have even more things getting into the mall. And then I don't think I care which side the splitter takes. Okay, so we should have more stuff here. We should have... Okay, we have tidied up our mall. Our red science is running. We are, again, iron limited. That is... I mean, sure, things that we're going to continue to have a problem with. How are we getting this iron into the base? Do we want to recombine it here? Because there's also still... Oh, this is also only the iron that's left over from the other outpost. Yeah, we've got to go and get more iron to put on these lanes here. How many thousand researchers a car? 6,000? Okay, I guess we're doing this on foot. We've got the mining drills. We've got power poles. We've even got... Is this patch the easiest way to get ore to here, or to here? It kind of is, isn't it? I mean, there's this stuff over here, which is also a bit of a mess. Oh, well, it looks like the other option is this one, but that has some associated problems. We also don't really have any defense yet. In in really any direction, and we are taking expansions, so we're gonna have to be thinking about putting pillboxes somewhere at various places so far. I also definitely wanted additional power connections through here so that we don't have every single one of these things being an Artosis power pole all the way down. Never mind, we're going to worry about that when we build Petrochem, which is not yet. And oh yeah, maybe that's the thing we should have been. I think this the second mall, the top mall we put up there. Why are we going this way? We want to be putting mining drills on the east here. I think we probably want to also be putting pipes in boxes in the mall that is feeding what will be the engines for Blue Science, so that we can have other sources of pipes in the network. Yeah, we're gonna put the rest of these guys down. We're finishing a tech. That's real nice. We got a lot more of that to do. Get the rest of this iron into the machine. Marathon times. Did we... 28. Okay. I think we are going to... This is also already the lowest priority lane, so we're just going to smash this in here. That's going to be a full belt. It's going to be fine. We're not going to worry about it. This is the other lowest priority lane, and I think we are going to be in a position where we are happy with the splitters that we have already put down. There's places where we could get some more mining drills, but I think we're going to be here for so long that they would just run out, and we're not going to worry about it. However, I think this is a decent spot for another mining drill. Did we put 2 radars here? We've probably scanned everything that we wanted to. And yeah, so this is... sure. That's going to do 78. And that actually gets us to 3 belts of stuff, which is nice. That's what we wanted. Should we... Do we have gun turrets? Okay. If we've got gun turrets, we probably should be leaving some here, so that, I mean, this is a spot where we are pretty likely to get attacked. The attacks are likely to be light because of how many forests are around the place, but I think that's still a good reason to just have a couple of guns here, so that it's one less place we can be disappointed and surprised later. With some number of yellow bullets, it's fine, we're not going to worry about it. Should we... I guess there's other cliffs in the way. I'm not super worried about... Maybe we should be worried about being attacked from the bottom, but we've at least covered some of our bases. Oh well. And then this is the 3rd belt of iron that I think we are talking about taking all the way back to the starter patches, which I'm not super convinced that I like. Because here is the solid fuel from light oil belt that we will really not have to worry about for a while yet. Yeah, that patch was really well ratioed to 3 belts, and we also are fully using 2 of them here. I guess the starter patches might run out. Oh well. Let's see if we can make that simpler. I don't remember how this prioritization went, but also we've probably got enough of it sitting around to not really worry about. Can we put you in a different place so I can feel better about it? Do we also want to take... I don't see at this point why we wouldn't also... Actually, is there... We're super unlikely to be putting more smelting in this spot, which means I don't mind building through this. And we're also going to take... are we going to take... Yeah, because we've got roughly 3 belts of coal here, of which if we're going to say that, and we're in the area and we have the mining drills, we should go and put the other belts. We should fully mine that. One of which is for coal, one of which is for this power grid, which means that this belt that's currently running through the smelting may as well be thought of as a full belt of stuff for the duration of until this runs out. Which I think means that we do want to take it back to support the starter patches, because we will have that much how much are we... 83, yeah, these are going to be 3 belts of stuff for a while. So we've got a belt for coal, which is the lowest priority. We are prioritizing this bit of power grid. We are prioritizing this other smelting. We're just going to leave these as ghosts, and bots are going to get around to it. Probably we're going to do that somewhere else as well, and just leave a bunch of things for bots to do when we get to them. But we're going to have, yeah, a whole belt of iron here, nearly a full belt of coal, which we can plug into other parts of the same machine. And I guess we are... How many of these guys? 27? Sure. I guess we're going to pull some of these trees out the way. Doesn't feel great, but also whatever. Probably better than grenading things. And then what else do we even want to build next? And I guess it's more smelting into things that would do red science? Red science? Blue science is what we were thinking about. This is actually all iron, so you can still just go left, left. In fact, go right, right, because... where is... Here is some power grid. Are we adding... Do we have enough space to add more power grid here? Yes, if we moved these belts in a way that we totally can do. So I think we're going to, especially as we've got another source of coal here. This also means that we have to move the power line that we previously described as 1,000 outposts power poles in a row. So that's going to be a little bit of a mess. Yeah, you go here. You step in. And then go... This is our last splitter. Okay. Right, left, because this is the line that we will be attaching to... that's just a tree on the ground and a tile that doesn't actually matter. Do we want more... Yeah, I don't know that we want more smelting here. I think we already have the green science... Yeah, I think we already have the iron and copper we need for this amount of green and red science. Does that mean that we want to build another science hub or another mall? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think we work on moving this power grid out of the way. We're just going to run these poles through the trees. This is not even the redundant line that we also want to add. This is straight up just, I want to get these power poles out the way so that I can put yet more power grid in this spot. We should all still be connected. Everyone's still happy. Radars are still running. We have moved the Artosis power line, so that's fine. And then this whole thing here, maybe we're thinking about getting solid fuel in here later as well, but we've now got the space to smash this in here. It's going to be fine. What are we worrying about? Do we have more space than that? Can we run this power grid in here like so? We're still making a couple of walls here, but I think we would like to continue making walls here, and we can upgrade these furnaces, because why not? And then I've got this stuff which you guys can have, and yeah, just fill up some boxes with that stuff. It's going to be fine, don't worry about it. Where are we retaining any of this as an access point? Do we want to be able to drive a car through here, or do we just block it with even more power grid? Because what I'm thinking is, especially with, yeah, this connection is now redundant and unnecessary and will be removed. I believe all these guys are, yeah, the load on these still says that we're hitting this enough, because we could actually have more grid in here as well now. Let's not fully block that off. Let's conceptually leave a bit of a space in here. We're going to need to pull these things out the way, but to sort of navigate through here is the plan. And then, yeah, we got another space where we can do... we are leaving a pile of ghosts here, we also don't have nearly enough yeah, we also don't have nearly enough power plant parts to build this. Also, these guys are going to want to move. We have probably done all the radar scanning we need to at this point. Are we going to, it looks like, based on just vibes, we are going to connect the water on this side as well, apparently, and then have, yeah, move those guys further. And then we've got a water line. There's nothing we're doing with water down here. If we are doing things, like I was thinking about taking water from the top of this power plant, but it looks like the other power plant we have built will be the much more convenient place to get water into where we are thinking of the petrochem being. But I think we leave space for water connections over this side as well. The outposts power poles are now a solved problem. We have several rows, or have a plan to have several rows of... actually, I think these guys here can definitely also be power grid in this space. That's going to be a thing we are going to feel good about doing and extending in this way. I've not thought about belt capacity for... where are we? We are already full extension? Okay, fine. I've not really thought about belt capacity for what's going on these belts, but also whatever. We're still kind of in a mode of I am happy just making space for a bunch of extensions and figuring out where a bunch of things will go and having things for a ton of bots to build later, even though we are not there yet. And then also getting... I think this belt wants to split. Actually, we should probably take it from the coal here, shouldn't we? Do I not have... I've got 7 belt. That is a silly place to be. We're going to grab all this wall that we don't really need. We have research car. We also... I don't think we need these guys here either at this point. The old... Oh, we are doing literally nothing with the copper patch that was the original Burner City. Hilarious. I think we're fine with that as well. I think we... Yeah, I think we're just going to fully mixed mine this when we get to the point of trying to figure out what and where we are doing with our... what and where we are doing with our blue science later. Where is... A copper smelter is down here. I also wanted to go to the military science to drop off all this wall. I don't actually plan on doing anything with all of the wall we've picked up. Although, are we? Yeah, we are still limited by wall, apparently. We are not. We are... Well, yeah, we're kind of limited by wall. We're just kind of having it run. We have a relevant amount of military science, as it turns out, but also it's not going into the labs yet. That is the thing we could probably do at some point, but we're not going to do that yet. I wanted belt. Did I want power poles? I was here for belt and kind of power poles. Do I have steel to give away? No. I do have green science, which we're going to get rid of just by having the system deal with it. Also, if we do have these materials here, I think we can... Yeah, those guys are full, which is great. These guys are 2 stacks. These guys... I think we set this up to 3 stacks now, and we make this dude faster. And then we also just have more of it down. Okay, we copied more of it than we wanted. The ability to blast out 1 billion drills when the bots get to that point, he said, thinking about the bots that we don't have already. I think that's going to be pretty important. Should we have more ammunition? I think we should have, and I don't mean like manufacture, I just mean on me, because we are still trying to make a bunch of that stuff work. Okay, we're going to go over to the mall where we put a bunch of power grid stuff and pick up the power grid We're also... Oh, yeah, that's why we're back over here as well. Give me these guys, because we've got iron and steel, and that means we have cars, which is very exciting. I think this also means... We don't have pumps because we don't have fluid handling yet, but I think this means we want to have, say... here? Because I would also... Okay, we don't have... I don't have the things for a splitter. Cool. I was going to have... I think if the mall does need underground pipes, because I was going to have a splitter here and prioritize away from these guys, but I think if we are in the situation of the mall needing underground pipes, I think we would want to be able to grab them over blue science. Similarly, we're going to do a filter for pipes and put this inserter here, and also have a mall of pipes. Cool. And then we need... Yeah, we are actually going to need... oh, wait. It's fine, because we brought all of these furnaces, which we put in the wrong box, put them in the correct box. Yeah, grab all these guys again. We're going to need a couple more. We're actually going to need... We seem to be doing this at stacks of 40 at a time, but whatever. Okay, grab me some of these. We can also just handcraft this stuff on the way, because we've got all of this iron sitting around. So, yeah, grab the gears and pipes that are on this belt so that we're not handcrafting this stuff. It's fine. Yeah, we still have all the things we need to handcraft the rest of the power grid that we're going to build. Fluid handling is nearly done. We will be in a nice position to just straight up build some pump jacks when we get around to that. Although there isn't a part of this mall, but there could be a part of this mall that also has pipes accessible. We were going to have this on... Like, there was going to be a belt of steel here, maybe, but I think we also maybe just hand feed this steel into this chest here. So now we've got a belt of pipes and steel, which means we can go pump jacks, chem plants, refineries. Do we want tanks here as well? Maybe we want tanks here. So tanks, we are still working on the oil gathering. This is also accidentally exactly the correct direction, or the correct distance away. And then you guys are going to want this stuff have multiple inserters, have multiple input inserters, because everyone likes having multiple input inserters. Okay, so we are in a very marathon way, somewhat ahead of the game of 4 stacks of chem plants seems like a lot. 2 stacks of chem plants, especially as they're just in the mall. And then also somewhere you are going to need a stack of stone. So we can bring you some stone, that's fine. We've got all of that stuff set up, that's also fine. I think we want to do this better. Maybe not much better. Whatever. I've got this steel. I've got some coal we were going to take down here, which we have now done in exchange for this steel. These guys can have iron because it looked like you were a little bit sad. These guys can have steel because that's where that's eventually going to go. You can also have these assemblers. I have wood that we were going to take to the power poles. We have taken the wood to the power poles. Give me a couple more power poles. And the grid that we were going to build the easy section of is in this direction. I will have more belt. I have enough power grid parts to build the thing we wanted to. And we also now have a car. Yeah, we've got more copper we could be smelting here. If I've got the power grid parts that I want to, then we're just going to kick off this other kind of weird secondary bit of gears. So these guys should be fully... Oh no, because this belt is not full. Okay, so we can actually immediately solve that iron problem as well. I thought we needed to build entirely new smelting for this iron, and that is not true. we can run this ore over the top here, and here we can go right, and then here we can not have a splitter again, but it's fine because we can grab a stack of iron and then also not have iron plates, and then handcraft a couple of chips to get a splitter. And I don't even know that I worry about which of those things are prioritized, because all of this stuff is going to run down, but we should now have we should be doing a better job of utilizing that iron going into the build. I think I want another splitter here. Yeah, we actually definitely want another splitter there, don't we? Okay, cool. So I guess we're going to go and look for enough iron to handcraft probably just one more splitter, but we're going to be doing a bunch of chips and stuff. Oh, well, never mind. Get this iron ore out of my inventory. Thanks. We have a decent number of grenades there that we don't have anything in the plan to do anything with. But yeah, we've got another belt of fuel here that might come from the mysterious petrochem that we have talked about needing. Yeah, the mysterious solid fuel when that eventually happens, of which we are a very long way away from, but that's fine. The rest of this power plant we're also just going to leave for bots to do later. You know, whatever. We're going to do the easy bits that just look like this. We should also make sure that we actually power them. And yeah, I think we have... The vibes generally say when you're adding petrochem and bots, you kind of need to double the power plant that you already have to be able to keep up with what you're adding with your red chips, what you're adding with all of your refineries that are also kind of a power hog, to be dealing with all the stuff that your bots will need. And so if we are only half utilizing the grid that we have built when we are in a situation of going into petrochem and bots, just checking all these inserters and boilers got done, and they did, we are fine, then I am pretty happy that we have built an appropriate amount of... I kind of would like this power pole to connect to something else, but whatever. Yeah, I think we're going to be pretty happy that we've built an appropriate amount of power grid, that this will hopefully get us through one more, really. But we also aren't putting fuel on it yet, so whatever. And we're getting water from the other side. We are. Yeah, bots will get around to that at some point. We're not even putting fuel on that belt yet, whatever. Yeah, pretty happy that half utilization should be all the power grid we need, hopefully, maybe, until we get bots and can have them build the rest of that for us. I've got the cars. Okay, so we are researching the oil gathering tech. How are we doing with our lab utilization? And it looks like we are actually pretty well ratioed in a bit of a surprising way. Red science is all running, nearly all of the labs are running. The green science is getting towards the end of the belt, which is nice. We can go down to one radar here because we've probably scanned out everything we need to. All of these guys are pretty much running. Should we do some upgrades? Should we do some in-place upgrades? We can make all of these guys happier and nicer and better by doing this with 12 steel furnaces instead of any of the stone furnaces. So yeah, we're making things better. I think do we even need to really plan where the petrochem goes? I think we probably do. I mean, there is still a big research bottleneck to push through when we go between the, like, all the things going into blue science. And I don't think at this point we even bother making enough blue science to satisfy all the labs. I think we can probably do one blue science build and then intersperse blue text with red text. Look at how responsible we're being. We've upgraded some furnaces. We are so good to ourselves and to the environment. Yeah, I think we can... These guys being full is a thing I'm completely fine with. It means we are using all the stuff we have made. Where is this coal going? I guess the coal is going in the disaster buffer down here. Let's also clear out this disaster buffer of sushi management. Great. Okay, all of... yeah, we're going to need more coal storage. Are we... We are not integrating the rest of this belt of iron. How do we integrate the rest of this belt of iron? It probably wants to happen here. Yeah, it wants to happen here, doesn't it? So, I think this means we're going to have to pull this underground so that you can jump through this way. This is also the lowest priority, yes, which is fine. That's kind of the plan. I don't think we need these gun turrets anymore. So I think we're just going to go left, left. These materials have been integrated. I don't think... I mean, we've still got two belts of stuff here. There's a chance that... Okay, we're going to do this slightly differently. We would need one more splitter to do this slightly differently, but we also have, at this point, the gears nearby to be able to do it like that. Yeah, I was thinking if we did... If we do something like this. Where is this iron going? It's going... It's still the lowest priority line, but it does go into the rest of the base. So maybe it doesn't need to. Maybe this one just needs to be an even split, and then this turret also needs to get out the way. And I don't know that that was necessary. Whatever, we're gonna do it. We're not gonna worry about it. We're not gonna look at it again for a while at least. Can we get these things out of our inventory? I was gonna move around this coal buffer again, wasn't I? Yeah, okay, that is somewhat fine. We are happy with it. I've got things to take to the power mall. I also wanted to check all of this red science is running, which is great. This blue-green science is backed up slightly, but there is also no red science at the end of this belt, which means... Does this mean we add red science? Could we add red science? Can we add red science down the other side? Maybe. Oil gathering is finished, which is a big deal. We can actually have this, because this is all side-loaded here, isn't it? It is. We're just going to slap in a little bit more red science, because why not? It's fine. Things are great. Next, what do we even want next? I mean, other than everything, I guess let's get some bullet damage. And then we've got to get on the pump jack machine, of which we said we had already put a thing down here to automate them. This one here is... Why are you not... Oh, because we were silly, because you are actually a thing that needs iron. Yeah, if we're making pump jacks here... Should we... I mean, gears here would be nice as well, but we've got a variety of sources of gears of which we are not super concerned. You guys all can have multiple inserters that will grab iron. Sure. Okay. So we've got some pump jacks, and a curiosity about this seed, which we totally did not plan, but we are absolutely going to lean into, is the oil processing is just right here. There's not a lot of it. There's about 2,000 or something like that, but this does mean that now we can set up our chem plants, we can set up our refineries. We have one... I think we want 2 stacks of chem plants. We do want a lot of chem plants. 1 stack of refinery is probably fine, but we do need... let's do this with a fast inserter instead. We need to find some bricks to give to our chem plants, and we do not have... We are converting all of our bricks to walls, which in some ways I'm happy with. Don't worry about that coal interface, it's totally fine. I think we're just gonna slap in slap in a bunch more. That one doesn't overlap, it's fine. We're just going to slap in a bunch more improvised coal, yeah, just improvised patch fed. This is all this needs to do is, yeah, these grenades are working through the surplus of coal there. Situations that are hilarious and kind of awful. Yeah, we're just going to get enough stone in here to worry about getting... Do we also just then want... Yeah, sure. We're going to put another one of these guys with a box here, so we can get enough stone to get some refineries running. If we are... Yeah, this is all the bricks we are turning into stone, never mind. Do we... We've got all the grid we want. We've got a place where we can be building... What resources are we... Okay, I think all of this stuff can totally be a giant blue science machine. I think we wanted some petrochem in here because we do have iron and copper here, and we've got a bit of this stuff, and we also talked about wanting petrochem in here, but also this area. Do we have... There's a coal feeder. Oh yeah, there's this coal over here. And then also this... Let's go for a little drive and see whether this entire peninsula is just totally havable. And by that I mean colonial exploitation for resources and death of native populations. This is a decent number of bits of stone to get our oil processing going for the first time in a way which is going to be nice. These guys are probably... They're not building up that much. Okay, fine. You guys are... This is also not running, which is interesting, but this stone is full, which is great. All of this is pretty happy. We have, yeah, only one lab in there. We haven't made too many of those yet. If we're using this stuff as mall, then you guys should probably get to go faster. And then we're making... Yeah, we've got our 2 stacks of refineries. We've got 2 stacks of refineries, 2 stacks of chem plants. That's all fine. Actually, only 1 stack of pump jacks. Pump jacks, we get a lot of pump jacks. And then... Do we want to start... I mean, let's fully tap this, even though we don't actually have a plan to do anything with it yet. But it's just... I mean, is it even worth starting to put this in tanks? Because the nature of this tick multiplier is we are going to need so much of this. Yeah, that works out pretty nicely. We are going to need so much of this that it's barely worth even trying to have a buffer. We need to make sure that we are sustaining all of our production, because otherwise it's just not enough. And I think there are going to be some special cases with modules and maybe red chips and stuff like that if we have a particular plan for arcing into... I wanted to do a thing here, didn't I? Yeah, if we're going to have a particular plan for arcing into purple science in some way, or... But, yeah, mostly it's just going to be... Let's put these pump jacks down, let's get 8 tanks worth of crude oil, that's nice, but what we really need to do is sustain our production. Do we want to get damage 2? I think we want to get damage 2, and then with all of this stuff unlocked, we probably want to go into the red chips, which means we need to build our processing, we need to build our red chips, but I would like to explore this first and blast some of these dudes, because we've got all of the munitions we need to make a lot of guys unhappy, and this is partly to see how far this peninsula goes, partly also to see what kind of resources are on this peninsula and whereabouts we might build things, but also to make sure that large parts of this peninsula continue to be undesirable expansion targets for... Why UPS? We're not even doing anything. What do we... Okay. Something happened in the background there of which we are not super concerned. It's fine. That base is now gone. Yeah, if we can also find the limits of this kind of peninsula and then also purge the biters from the peninsula, then we're going to have a lot of territory that we don't necessarily have to worry about defending. Although that said, I mean, this nest here will totally just expand directly across the water, but it means that this whole area will be safe as long as we defend a certain number of key points, which is going to make territory, gaining territory elsewhere much easier in a way that I like. Is this even... these guys don't even have a nest. I think that's the best possible play for them. Because if they had a nest, they would absolutely all be getting trashed. And then this is this even... I was wondering whether this would be a peninsula or this would turn into a land bridge. And it looks like it could be a funky kind of land bridge, which also... yeah, we're probably going to explore that and blast some of the other stuff later. It's going to be fine. These guys have put almost all of their worms in one spot. Just in here, which is not the greatest move for them. Although they do have some medium worms in here, which is a nice trick because they do quite a lot of damage. Could we please have bullets in the guns? They do some damage. They don't do enough damage, as it turns out. Does that mean that the other... maybe we'll get some medium worms in the other location as well. Do we have much coal? Are we using wood in this car? Oh no, we're using a lot of coal. Okay, fine. Yeah, we're just going to poke our nose down here a little. If we can find some oil on this little weird section of land bridge, or it turns into a peninsula, but if we can find some oil, then that will be a position where we can drop some pump jacks and flamethrowers and just lock everything off. And disappointing noises... it is a land bridge. We're going to need to build a wall there. And then this entire section doesn't necessarily open up again. Okay, yeah, we've got some large nests. We've got a lack of oil. There's also this other weird little land bridge over here. Okay, let's, I guess, scout the rest of this because we're here. Do we want to push this nest because it's right across the water from where we were talking about doing that? I don't think we do. Yeah, funky new things in 2.0 map generation. All these weird patterns of land bridges and new rivers and things that look a lot more like river deltas and all that kind of stuff. That's all fine. We're going to leave those guys there doing that. We probably are going to be putting... maybe light oil, maybe crude... we're definitely putting crude oil on a train because... you know, we're going to have to go big and that's going to be a thing. We're definitely going to need large trains. I think we're also probably putting light oil on a train to take to wall sections because that's just also a nice plan. And I think probably here, or maybe across here, maybe a slight corner, something weird, is going to be a good place to lock off. Maybe this turns into... yeah, we kind of need to get... we need to do the rest of the thing we said we were going to do and get down to the other area and check out what's going on with the rest of a tiny piece of oil, that tiny piece of iron that disappeared off the bottom of the map. Sucks to be them. Yeah, check out what's happening with the rest of this other funky southern peninsula. Get rid of these. Are we going in too deep already? Maybe? No, we're fine. These guys are shooting at my turrets, which is bad. We're just going to run over. Oh, there's multiple turrets in here. Multiple worms. It's fine. We had it handled. We took some turret damage. I don't think we've lost a turret yet, which is pretty nice. And we have researched repair packs, haven't we? Okay. Yeah, I think we're probably going to be shipping... we're definitely going to need trains, even though we've boosted the patches. We've just kind of boosted the patches in a way that means that we can get kind of the volume of resources we want for blue yeah, red and green and blue sides without having to do too many trains too early. But later on, even before we go to space, we're going to need to get... I don't know how big trains. I'm not really a fan of giant trains, but maybe still a decent number of trains. And oh yeah, we're seeing the arachnids now. That is a thing. Why lag spike? Why lag spike? Yeah, so the arachnids are a thing that are added by one of the mod planets. They also put them on Novus, that's fine. They also, the mod that adds them also gives us a delay in turrets that I have taken out because I don't like it, because it kind of, I feel it adversely affects some of the skill. These guys do quite a lot of damage pretty quickly, as it turns out. It's fine, we can still just turret push them. Get rid of these turrets that are being shot at, add some more turrets, don't stand in the slime. And yet these arachnids also only spawn in desert biomes, which is why we're seeing them now and we didn't see them in forest biomes. And yeah, that's probably all we need to say about that now. We probably would see... Okay, is this not actually... Is this going to be a peninsula? Is this going to be another land bridge? Things that we cannot easily tell. Oh no, this is... Oh wait, maybe this is... Maybe this is peninsula, maybe this is not peninsula? I think this is just going to be another location where we ship out a large volume of light oil. And... Oh, they got a medium worm. Good job. Yeah, I think this is going to be just another location where we ship out a large amount of medium oil and set up a wall. Because we're not even done yet. No, we're done. Yeah, this is quite a large nest that I don't necessarily want to bother pushing through. So this might end up getting called land bridge for purposes of whether or not we push biters out of this. But this is also on the scale of things we're going to have to set up defenses for. Okay, yeah, this is no longer looking like a peninsula. This is... I mean, who can tell? But I think this is going to end up just a land bridge, which means we're going to ship more stuff out here and have walls. But if we can avoid doing this until after bots, that's going to be better, because I don't want to build walls of this size myself. And yeah, we've got quite large nests down here that I don't really want to I don't really feel like wanting to push at this point. With the exception of maybe this little nest. Sucks to be these guys. Dodge all the stuff. You guys are getting shot at, so let's not do that. We lost our first turrets. Congratulations to the bugs. Yeah, it's fine. Is it fine? Maybe we just leave those two turrets. We've clipped off all the nests, so they're not going to be able to expand from here. And we are going to congratulate their first defeat of some of our turrets by just giving them some more turrets. Are we using... We do still have the coal good. Oh yeah, because we haven't lost a car yet. And science is still ticking over at whatever rate we set up. Fine, we're not going to worry about it. That's going to buy us, to be honest, not a whole lot of expansion time, because we're not going to bother maintaining all these directions. These guys don't have arachnids, which means we can just do the normal walking in and messing these guys up thing. Let's not stand in the slime. Okay, I think we're pretty much... Oh no, there's two nests left. Maybe we were a little hasty on pulling up some of these gun turrets. Oh, well, never mind. Okay, we have done the land bridge combat analysis that we wanted to. We've figured out how far our territory goes. We found a couple of good places to drop bottlenecks when we're doing that. And I think now we need to think about where we are going to get the volume of copper... Oh, we should get landfill. Where we're going to need to get the volume of copper and iron that we want to, in order to be able to make the volume of red chips we're going to need. And I'm looking at candidate 1 with fuel from here, and then candidate 2. And I think I like candidate 2. I think we might end up just straight up just building both. But the other thing I like about candidate 2 is, yes, there's also water just right there, but we've brought water into this space to do the petrochem here anyway. But we can also, it's kind of to the limit of where we've explored, which means we can drop some more radars and scan out some more territories. So, yeah, we still don't have, we are still a long way from being able to research plastic, just in terms of, we did add the red science down here, didn't we? Are we just being more effective with... Yeah, these guys are running. We've had them make science. We're still getting all the products to the end. We're just, yeah, slowly and iteratively improving the ratios of these things. It's fine. Insert is going all the way around the belt. Okay, because we've got the stuff we want in the queue. We just will need so much stuff. Give me stuff. Put stuff in the car. Walls, fine. Oh, let's go over to the power grid. Let's just wander over here to the power grid mall and drop these furnaces in here, because we're realizing we're doing power grid blocks of 50 of these things at once. We're doing petrochem, so I'm going to need pipes of both kinds. Put those in the car. Here's some belt, here's some undergrounds. We're going to need all of that stuff. Fast inserters. I think we're going to need some more mining drills. So let's head down to Mall 3. And then ignore the oil we've already put in tanks. We're definitely going to get around to using it at some point. But give me more belt. I don't think we need a billion undergrounds, but having a lot of undergrounds is going to be helpful. Give me all of these mining drills, give me inserters of various kinds, and give me this iron that's on the ground that's looking pretty silly. And this is all somewhat moot. We need to go back to the primary mall, because if we're going to build some petrochem, it might be helpful if we had, first of all, some assemblers. We're going to need these. Get the old assemblers that I don't want out there as well. You know what we might need? We might want some pump jacks. We might want some refineries. We might want some chem plants. All of those things could be useful. We have those now as well. I've got burner miners. Where's my... I think this is going to be our chest of junk, because we've got a lab that we're not using. We can have the burner miners there. Let's also build a little area of pistols of shame, for which I want to wander over to... Okay, yeah, we've still got a little bit further to go, haven't we? I wanted to go over to the stone that we had on the patch to bring it back to make more refineries, because, you know, 10 refineries is nice, but what about if we had another couple of 100 refineries? Move the stuff around the car. Is now a car that we cannot afford to lose, but also whatever, I don't think we were planning on that. Yeah, so all those guys are fueled, that's fine. Take this stuff back to the mall. Sneak through here, sneak. We are sneaky. Where are my refineries? Yeah, do we want... Nah, 10 refineries at a time is still going to be fine, isn't it? We can go and build 10 refineries at a time, and then when we want more, we can build more refineries. 4 radars is going to be good. Maybe we want more gun turrets. Maybe we want more bullets, because we are going out to a place where we are going to probably need to defend it, because we're not going in further in that direction yet. Where are my power poles? Through here somewhere. Well, they're just over here. Give me all of these power poles? Sure. Do I want to take some intermediates in case I remember something that I want to hand craft later. Maybe. Okay, so we have loaded up with a whole bunch of stuff, which is nice. We have... Where can we get? Just from the... Actually, from this radar. Because... Yeah, I don't even know what the long-term labs plan is. Like, whether we are planning on... Okay, the very long-term labs plan is biolabs, because Space Age, but we are, of course, not in that yet. Where are we doing our smelting and our processing? Do we just blast all of these trees and do it right here? Do we... actually, you know what we should do? We should get a blueprint of, say, for example, 3 lanes of smelting, because we're going to need more than this, and use that to kind of guess at how much space we're going to need and where things can go. And I think we can actually get... Yeah, I think we can... Which direction is... The coal is going that way, so if we flip it and we get the coal coming from the top, because that coal patch is towards the top, and we can drop 6 lanes of something. We have not decided which yet, but if that's the case, then I think this power line wants to come below this forest, because it looks like this space is going to be building space. And the other thing we have mentioned a couple of times, but not actually fixed yet, is we still have that entire Artosis power line for the rest of the base. Hand grabbing range. Yeah, getting these things out of the way. Whatever. Yeah, we were going to build more petrochem kind of in the middle of the base, and we have not done that, and we were going to use that opportunity to put another power line down to the southern mall and power plant area, which we have also not done. So instead of that, we are just going to have an entirely separate additional Artosis power line out to an entirely new place where we are going to make entirely new blue science. And this is going to be all the chips for blue science. Get these guys out of the way. I would rather not deal with them. Yeah, I'm just going to put a bunch of things on the map. It's going to be fine. I think we're happy accepting that there's going to be a decent amount of time we need to spend just building all of this, because we are also nowhere near... Did I have... Yeah, another 4 splitters. We're going to need more splitters. We're actually going to need a lot more splitters, because we've got to not just split these smelting lanes in the sensible way. We've also got to compress the belts of ore coming off these patches. What is even in there underneath? Okay, whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty happy having a decently sized build to do, because we will need... We've got quite a bit of time to spend while we go at 600 science per minute to push through the 12,000 science for plastic, and then another 12 science for red chips. And the nature of this is as soon as we get one, we can pretty much... Well, as soon as we unlock the technology for one, we can pretty much build both. We've got... Like, it's mainly the technology bottleneck that we are worried about at the moment. Power grid stuff we won't need. Pipes, I guess we won't need. Did you have any more furnaces? No, so we need to build more furnaces, bring more furnaces as well. Okay. We're going to be able to get a lot of stuff out of this. How much... What ratio of copper to iron do we want? And in particular, do we want 6 belts of stuff in total? I am tempted to go up to 8 or maybe 9. Mostly what I was thinking about with that is how far are these smelt lanes going, and can we just, in a very Artosis way, run the power up to the coal through the power plant, through the smelting that we are still in the middle of building. Because if we can get some of... Oh yeah, we already allocated... We conceptually allocated some of the coal by the other power plant to plastic. So we are definitely thinking about having some amount of petrochem happening in the rest of the base, close to where we are already tanking the oil, so whatever. But I think that this means we want... Do we want at least 3 lanes of coal out of this? Is that the direction we're going? Let's not have the toolbar of throwing grenades at the base, because I think do we want... I mean, eventually we want all of it, but do we immediately want to think about this in terms of building 2 whole lanes of plastic to go entirely into red chips? Because that does sound like the sort of thing we're going to need to do for a 60 times tick multiplier. How many of these have we got so far? 51. Yeah, we're going to throw these on as well, and I guess we are looking at expecting 2 belts of coal from this, which could be 1 belt for smelting, and then another belt for 2 belts of plastic, which, oh yeah, we were never going to be able to pick that car up, were we? That's very silly. Let's put some of the things back in the car. Yeah, 2 belts of plastic. I am talking myself into that being a good amount of stuff that we want to do. And then I think also in the similar way, we want to run not there to here. The coal that's going to run out first, furthest away from where we split all of this stuff, in a way that prioritizes the middle 2 lanes first. 65, especially with mining productivity, which we are going to be close to doing. We are going to have 2 belts of coal for a while, which is real nice. And then, yeah, now we do need, like, the power poles are going to be reasonably easy to move, but I think if we want, like, how many of these did we build? How many splitters do we have here? 8? If we did, because I think we're just going to think about turning this all into red chips. So let's have quick ratio time. If we do the green chips, 1.5 belts of copper per... That's not the button I wanted. 1.5 belts of copper per belt of iron, and then another belt of copper. So is 5 to 3 a ratio we want? I think I'm talking myself into 5 to 3 being a ratio we want. 5 copper, 3 iron. I think this means we can get 2 belts out of copper out of that just fine. 5 belts of copper is what we want from that patch, which we will again have to see whether or not that actually works. We're bringing coal into a place that is close to where we have oil wells, which is a thing that everyone likes. What is a little bit silly is maybe we should leave one of these coal belts here to actually do the petrochem thing that we're going to do with it, and we're only going to need 1 of these for the smelting. We also definitely should have left a radar by the coal, and we did not because we were silly, but I think we're going to still work on, yeah, dumping a bunch of this belt out of our inventory onto the map, and in particular getting this belt of coal through, which means we're also going to need to build all these... We don't actually need to build all these power poles, but building all these power poles, good things that we will eventually enjoy having done. Should we work on the iron belt delay at this time as well? I don't think we do. I think we just do a good little impression of a bot, build all the things, yeah, queue the things that we want to build, put all the belt on the map, put all the power poles on the map. Oh, it's this line of power poles here that we have not built yet, but I think those are going to be, yeah, we'll just start in the middle. We'll go middle out. We'll just, you know, relate to an analogy of people on an allegedly tech TV series with no understanding of how encryption works, but that's fine, and we'll just go middle out and pretend that that can somehow subvert the laws of the universe while doing a build in a manner that is, yeah, totally within the limits of the universe. This is not actually particularly fast at all. Never mind. Yeah, hopefully also this is going to empty out our inventory a bit so that we can subsequently go and pick up more things from the car and stuff like that. Okay, that is not actually all of the power poles, is it? Are we running out of power poles? I'm pretty sure we put more power poles in the car. Oh wait, that's in a silly spot. These ones were silly, but it's fine because we're going to be building the rest of these by hand, so we're going to fix it anyway. Okay, good tech things to do. Let's have a deletion planner that looks for ghosts, because we are always going to need stuff like this, and let's drop it on the hotbar there, and then we can see whether we have any power poles that we have not built. We have not built 3 of the power poles. That's going to be... As long as all of these lines are buffering with coal, and it looks like they are, I think I'm going to be happy figuring out where those power poles are, like, later, when we are in the situation of being able to see which inserters are not powered. Okay, let's go and get some... do we have... Yeah, we got power poles, it's fine. Let's go and get some iron. We talked ourselves into needing 3 belts of iron. We are also going to... Oh wait, do we have pumps? That could be a thing that would be nice if we're going to have a variety of pump jacks in places like this that we're just also going to connect at the same time, because we're going past it, why not? I see really no downsides to also connecting this oil as we're going past it. I mean, arguably we should do this after having connected the iron, because belt delay, but also whatever. Yeah, get this stuff up here, underground pipe this stuff in, underground pipe. Yeah, can you move so that we can get this in as well? And then, were there any other 2 in these? Yeah, those are all the... those are all the pump jacks we've got, aren't they? It's fine, we're just going to start tanking this stuff as well. Buffers are not a great plan, he said in marathons, and then made sure he had a lot of them, never mind. Where are you? Can you just... Yeah, we're just going to slap another tank in here. It's fine, don't worry about it. Things that we might worry about, but we probably won't. Okay. All of that stuff is running. Let's go and get more. Okay, these guys are going to make me sneaking through here with a car I can't pick up a little bit annoying. And let's go and get... we're going to need to bring... I said there was water over here. There kind of isn't water over here, is there? The starter base water is kind of a little bit closer to where this would end up being. Oh well, we're not going to worry about it. We do want a couple of radars in generally this direction, so we're going to move them out a bit, and we're going to go double radar for scanning. Please tell me where resource patches are, please tell me where biters are, and then we are going to want from here. And this is rich enough that we are not going to have any problems with this for a long while, but we're going to want 2 belts of iron out of this thing into the smelting we're putting together. Oh no, we are low on belt. If only I had a car filled with 1 billion belt. Okay, we've also only got 3 splitters left. We might need to cheekily and nastily cook some of this iron, but we also have put all our furnaces in the build already. How many have we got on one side? 14? Okay, that means that we are going to line this up by kind of the rear of this iron patch. This one can go here, and then here, and then here, because Actually, with mining productivity, we don't even need to worry about the third layer yet, but this is going to be a nice little boost to iron that we can connect later when we are growing, and for now, I think we're still going to get... Yeah, why not? I mean, we brought stacks and stacks of... actually, we didn't necessarily bring stacks of mining drills on the scale of what we need for the number of... yeah, for the number of copper lanes we're thinking about, but never mind. That's going to be... yeah, we've done probably more than we need there. Left, left, lane balance there, whatever. Yeah, and then we've lined up the other side of these mining drills so that I mean, we can't really have... yeah, we straight up can't have more than 15... was that 15 or was it 13? That was 15? And 13, because this one has the poles in it. Yeah, we can't have more mining drills than that without oversaturating the belts. I've got turned around somehow. My car was somehow facing a way I did not expect. But lining up the mining drills on the other side means we can put in some other mining facing a different direction later, and have... where are we? Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, be able to neatly line up mining going in another direction later when we get around to doing stuff like that. Okay, which of these lanes are we using for iron? I think we, especially because the pump jacks are here, we are going to use the top two for iron. Yeah, that's going to be... wait, did I say 3? 3 and 5. I totally said 3 and 5, didn't I? Remembering what the plan is way later than what you actually needed to, never mind. And we've also connected... we don't have any of the steel furnaces. Correct. We don't have... yeah, we don't have the splitters we need to connect this to the build, which is a shame. And then we also don't have the steel furnaces we need to start cooking this. So that's all a little bit of a disappointment. We're going to need to go back to the mall, and we can't easily just set up the things here that we wanted to make all of this work. So we're going to remember that we also don't have the splitters to make sure we get 3 compact lanes of iron at the patch. So that's also going to be... yeah, because we need to redo... we need another 2 splitters to make this work. Okay, I guess... having been disappointed by that, the thing we're going to do instead, to also kind of clear out our inventory, and because the 2 belts of coal are here, and because down here looks like a place we're putting red chips, I am deciding... I mean, we could also make some furnaces out of... that might actually be the play. We might actually just make some stone furnaces and cook the iron we need to just easily get the couple of splitters here that we want. Oh well, we could even stone furnace some of these guys and just upgrade them later. But instead of that, what we're going to do when we got those rocks out the way is start putting some refineries in here. Yeah, I think I mean, the richness is probably pretty good. 2,000, 2,000, 2,500, 3,500. No, we're still going to want to convert this, especially long term, to something that is going to need the advanced oil processing. So that is cool. Yeah, that's gonna be the layout that we use. We're going to leave a little bit of a gap. We're going to run power poles through the middle. We're going to get... we still can't pick this up, but that's fine. I don't need all of these inserters. I do need pipes. And we are going to get oil processing working, which is always a bit of a milestone. If we had not already got an achievement for this, then we would. I think we're going to... yeah, we're immediately going to do the underground things as well. I just find... is it easier to build all of these guys at once, or is it easier... like, is it easier to drag the pipes across and then use the underground pipe to remove it? Or is it easier to just do undergrounds immediately? I don't know. Yeah, we can't actually drag that there. It's not going to do what we want. Can we... We can drag underground pipes across regular pipes now. If the regular pipes... What if the regular pipes aren't built? If this is one drag, then we do what we want there, but here we put an underground pipe where there should be a pipe. So as long as we get the regular pipes in first, we are in a situation where... How many of these do we got? They're just going to fill this up, I think. Yeah, that goes all the way to the power line. That's what we're going to do. As long as we do the regular pipes first, it looks like we can do a simple, straightforward drag of all of the underground pipes and not have to think about exactly, clicking on the exact thing. That is a whole lot easier than the other ways of doing stuff. We are still experimenting and figuring out space age things that we are enjoying about new tech and options that have arrived. If this is plastic, do we need this much space? We probably don't, because we're probably cracking all of this down to gas here when we get the advanced version anyway. How much space would we need? Let's start from the other side. If this is plastic, and we've already got some other recipes that we've not seen. Fill atmosphere barrel, empty atmosphere barrel. I don't know what I'm doing with atmosphere, but I'm guessing I'm taking it to a planet that doesn't have any, would be my guess. But like, we're a long way from needing to worry about that yet. Okay, I think we... Because we want to get a whole belt of coal in here, and that means we're going to have... So this is one belt of plastic, and if we want 2 belts of plastic out here, I think what we can do... I think we can just do this with single fastener inserters. Because the situation I'm convincing myself of is we take this, we also flip it here. We aren't going to need all of those power poles. And then some of these chem plants. And then where are we with respect to... Oh, full extension. This, through complete accident, ended up in the best possible place. Okay, we are fine with that. And then, get these output belts here. And then all of this can run through the middle, except here we can do a pretty normal thing where we're just going to pull this out like so. And this is not easily going to extend to beacons, but also whatever. I don't think I mind that so much. And then, having made a big deal about having this belt of coal down here because that's where the plastic was, it turns out that the other belt for the plastic needs to run here. So you're going to get in there. You're going to adjust here. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. So you're going to use half a belt for the plastic that we are now putting here, which I am fine with. So I am talking myself into concluding that, I mean, could we get 3 belts? We could actually get 3 belts of plastic out if we did something like this, which is a bit wild. I don't know that we want to do that yet, but we are going to leave space for it conceptually. And here, oh wait, let's just check how many splitters I can get. Yeah, it's going to be enough splitters, we're going to be fine. So the reason for that was we can now recombine these belts and push them into the smelting. So we are also happy with how that has gone, and we now have... let's connect this up here as well. We now have not enough oil processing to make 2 belts of plastic. Not anywhere near that, but we do have kind of the space for it and a ways to think about extending things later. And now we have these splitters. Let's also wander back and drop the rest of the iron mining that we wanted. I just guess we just do all of this more or less again. It's gonna be fine. Stop asking questions. Things are normal. Yeah, sure. Okay, I think yeah, we forgot that we were supposed to be lining up the mining drills on this side, but it kind of worked out and we got away with it, so that's fine. This doesn't need to be a full belt, this is just topping things up to make sure that the other belt always stays full, but also whatever. The fewer times we have to come back to this, I think the happier we are. Never mind. Okay, whole pile of iron, get in... Not there. Not there either. The middle belt was just right. Okay, we've got all the iron we want. We are scanning around the lake and not finding anything. We're finding more stone, which is fine. Yep. Do we have... We still need a whole lot more... Oh yeah, we're still not in a position to be able to pick all this stuff up. And we still need... We have overestimated the number of pipes we have, which is fine. Oh, actually, we still need to connect the other iron. We still need to connect the lower crude oil as well, don't we? Things that we can get around to sometime. These are going to be all where all of this copper goes. How many of these do we actually need to get out the way? Maybe not all that many. But we have a lot of belt. This is actually all the belt we have. Interesting. Get this stuff out of my inventory. I do not need it. But we do need more mining drills than we have on this copper. Which is, to be honest, not really a huge surprise. Let's also figure out... Yeah. 4, 5, 6... Should we do fancy... Should we do fancy... lane balancing things with these mining drills? Maybe we should. Actually, I don't like the positioning of that one. Let's put the first one here. So a nice trick that turns up in, I think it's mostly 100% speedruns because it's mostly just annoying to deal with, is if we have the power poles jump to the other side, then we can do a better job of running to, say, yeah, somewhere down here, and doing a better job of balancing exactly how many mining drills we have on either side. So we've got 11 on one side and 12 on the other. I think we are going to leave this space to mine in different directions so that we are just more compatible with mining productivity. And then I think we've also got to line... The way we've done this, we kind of are forcing ourselves to line all of this up like so, which I no longer like, but whatever. Things are easier when you're just building off blueprints, aren't they? And then we've got to figure out where this is jumping across, but also we could have done this differently. There were places where we could have definitely connected power poles in ways that... Because a lot of this stuff is supposed to be about how do you get the largest number of mining drills on the same patch by doing clever things with where your poles are and how they power the different mining drills and stuff like that. But we have also kind of copied the homework of some of that, but also not really maximized the benefit and done it in a way that suggests we don't really understand it, which, or at least, you know, we're not achieving the goals of the project with what we have deployed. But also, whatever, it's going to be fine. Move these guys out the way. Yeah, get this stuff just into... How many... Are we going to do the same thing here? How many of these are 7? So I think we just forget about balancing that stuff and balance... And by balance I mean compress everything else away from it and then just run... When we belt balance this one, we can just run this one in here, and this will be the lowest lane, if any, and this will top up, so that's great. 72. That is less than half of what we wanted. We actually wanted 5 belts, didn't we? And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to need another... Yeah, we're going to need this many belts of stuff. For purely aesthetic reasons... Sorry, Donald. We are already making aesthetic decisions, even though it's way too early for that. But whatever. I mean, we're playing Factorio. Is it ever too early to be making purely aesthetic decisions. That's the 5 belts we wanted. If we want to at least work on belt saturation, we at least need to get this belt filled with stuff. So, I guess we are completely forgetting about the fact that we said we wanted to do this weird pole jumping tech to get more mining drills on the belt. But I did also want to put some of the drills on... yeah, some of the power poles on this side, so that the bottom of this lines up and we can mine it in a different direction later, but we're not going to bother with that yet. And then... can we get all of these? No, we can just keep going down here, it's fine. Not even things we need to worry about, because we can power it from this side. If we had power poles, have we also run out of power poles? We have also run out of power poles. We have built so much good stuff. We are doing so well. I'm so happy for us. This is going to, yeah, make sure that we push down all of these lanes, all of... grab the thing. Do the thing, do the thing, do the stuff. Good. This is... okay, yeah, we're not... we are still making aesthetic decisions. Yeah, we are now going to make sure that we get all of the copper down all of these belts, which is going to be really nice for us, through here and through here, and then the 3 lanes of other stuff that we wanted. We have almost researched red circuits. This, putting all these inserters down, is a thing we're going to need to do at some point. No big deal. It's going to clear out my inventory a bit so that we can go back and pick up more stuff. But the thing we need a lot of is... we need more power poles, we need more steel furnaces. I think it's going to be a case of let's build all the stuff we can and then go back to... yeah, go back to the mall, look at what we still have in the car, and make decisions about which new things we need to pick up from the mall based on... yeah, we're not going to build the rest of the steel furnaces yet. We're not going to do the rest of the inserters yet, because it's easier to do after we've done all the steel furnaces. But we can also just, you know, tap all of this stuff out of our inventory. You need a splitter here. We did that. Where is my car? Alright, you guys get him here. Car is over here. We have still not quite... we've not really left... this is actually pretty bad. Maybe we've left space to drive through. Oh no, I think we've actually... we are going to move this power pole here, because... yeah, we're still connecting down this side, aren't we? Can you move? Yes. Can you move to here? No. Okay. This is thinking about if we are driving a car around, because, spoilers, we're going to be driving a car around, can we find channels through our builds with which we can continue to drive our car easily and not hit things? Because that is actually a concern. Okay, let's connect this oil up as well, because it's also here, and we also want it. We want all of the oil. We're going to be a good little colonial imperialist. I don't think we bother with tanks on this side. I think we straight up just connect it to the other oil network, and then just do like normal things like moduling the pump jacks and worrying about whether or not we have enough oil being collected later. And maybe that's what we need. Okay, I guess we're not doing the power yet, but also whatever. Where is... oh, really? Are we in a situation where this oil line here happens to run directly up the side of the coal? That is a nice thing to discover. Okay, changing my mind about some of this stuff as well. This power line, we actually don't need this power line yet, do we? Yeah, we're gonna not have... actually, we can break things, but not completely break things, by just moving that power pole a little bit. Because what I am concluding now is we are going to run these refineries all the way over to the coal. This is not a ratio decision, this is an aesthetic layout decision. I have no idea whether or not this is going to be enough refineries. Two belts of things, this is going to be close to half the number of refineries we need. Maybe we can say 2/3 when we get advanced oil processing, but whatever, it's going to be fine. Should we either be buffering plastic or dropping a pile of tanks? We're not going to drop the tanks here because we thought about extending the plastic to 3 belts there. That we might not have enough refineries for that. But if we just go over here, yeah, let's buffer some petrogas. Buffers aren't important on marathons, he said, and then did a pile of that. Okay, cool. Yeah, and I think we go back to the mall, do we? I think I am going to call the episode here. We're going to build out the rest of this pretty normal stuff. We are going to we're going to power that up. We are going to presume that we're not going to be polluting anyone too bad, although we're going to have some issues. Or we're already polluting down here. I wonder if we've got bodies collecting at the power grid, maybe. Maybe this was another long episode, again, not really been tracking that super well. We got a pile of stuff done. We're probably going to come back with advanced research finished, because the time it takes us to build the rest of this thing and put all the inserters down. What are we even going to do next? Is it going to be... I guess it's going to be sulfur into modules, and we can just see where we get to by the beginning of the next episode, how far we got through that. Yeah, we are definitely expanding, definitely growing, definitely doing marathon things. Can I even pick up... I can't even pick up everything that's in my car yet. Okay, yeah, good times, building a lot of stuff.